Dr. Maureen Craig giving the yoga class this evening. So glad you're joining, friends. I wanted to say tonight's class, I'm going to be working with the Warrior 2 pose and helping us work around the mat. So Warrior 2 footing can be a challenging and intense posture, but please adjust so that it works well for you. So we'll begin with a little breath and meditation practice. Just noticing where you're seated. Glance around for a moment. And then draw yourself a little bit more inward. We'll start with a big breath in and hold at the top. Nice inhale, holding for 5. And release. Slowly letting the breath out of the body. When you hold the breath at the top, push the tongue into the soft palate and let go in the body. Inhale to fullness, hold for 5. And release, letting the exhale be complete. At the end of the exhale, drink in another full breath. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and letting go. And then just let the breath be a bit more natural, but keep the attention on the breath, witnessing the breath and how it is in your body. Where you sense the breath, the temperature of the breath, how the body moves with the breath. Expanding your awareness to any sensation in the body, the felt sense in the body, or the emotional tone. Just witnessing what is here. And welcoming what is here. Sometimes we want to resist what's present instead of welcome it. Really encourage you to practice not only witnessing, but having a big yes. Yes to whatever you find, even if you find resistance. Welcoming whatever is present, no bad parts. Notice the sounds in the room that might be coming to you, and anything else that comes to your awareness. Sensations on your skin, and the sound of a fan. Continuing to say yes and welcome to this moment of my life. As you set your intention, I encourage you to have that intention of witnessing and welcoming every moment of your practice and how your body is in the practice. Bring your left hand to the inside of the right shoulder and just gently press it away as you lean the head off away from that side, getting a bit of a neck stretch. Breathing. And then switching. Bringing the right hand to the inside of the left shoulder. Press the shoulder away a little bit as you lean the head off towards the right. Once more each side. Inhale. Exhale, press. And stretch. Inhale, switch. Exhale, press and stretch. Inhale, lengthen the spine up. Exhale, chin to chest, and gently roll out the back of the neck. And then begin to swim your shoulders. Open your eyes if you've closed your eyes and begin to feel the shoulders. And let's reach our hands up at a 45-degree angle from the torso. Lift the heart a little bit here. Exhale, bring the elbows into the waist. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, into the waist. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, twist off to the right. Keep the spine long. Inhale, soften just a bit. Exhale, squeeze the revolution. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale into the waist. And reach. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, soften a bit. Exhale, increase the revolution. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, elbows to waist. Inhale, reach to the waist. Inhale, reach. Twist to the right. Inhale, soften. Lengthen and revolve. Inhale, reach in the center. Exhale, twist to the other side. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, revolve. Gently reach your arms out into a T and roll your thumbs back a little so you squeeze the shoulder blades together, open across the chest. Soften our shoulders, get rounded. This is important for us to really keep them open. Helps from getting a pinched bicep tendon. Rotator cuff issues. Keep rolling those thumbs back. Then drop that right hand to the mat and take a side bend, pushing the opposite hip out. Inhale, make that sweep really broad. Bring the hand down, lengthen through the other side. Press into that hand on the mat. Push the ribs and hip out. Inhale, sweep over. Exhale deeply into that side bend. Inhale, sweep through the center. Exhale, side bend. Come back to center. Interlace the fingers in a Ganesh Mudra. Start up high. Exhale as you draw the shoulder blades down, pulling the fingers into each other and apart. Really good for shoulder strengthening. Inhale, switch the grip. Exhale, pull it down. Inhale, switch the grip and pull. And again. And once again. Nice. Come on over onto your hands and knees and we'll continue our practice. A little cat-cow here. Warm up the spine. Inhale, Vidyalasana. Exhale, Marjaryasana. Taking one more cycle. Pausing in table. Begin by pushing your right heel back. Add the left thumb to the sky. Exhale, bird dog. Bring the elbow and knee towards each other. Arch up. Inhale out. Exhale. Bring them together. Inhale out. And exhale. Out. And in. Inhale. And in. Inhale out. Exhale in. Bring the palm of the hand down to the mat, the ball of the foot down to the mat, and take a bit of a calf stretch here, pushing that heel back towards the mat. Then float that foot out and really lift that heel. Point the toe, and then bend the knee and stack the hip as much as you can. Flex the ankle now, opening that side body. And release that knee to the mat. Walk the hands one hand print forward. Tuck the toes and push up to down dog. Raise that same foot, right leg. Bend that knee, fire hydrant, really opening that hip here. and float back down into your table. We'll take these moves on the other side. Push that left heel out. Right thumb to the sky. Exhale, arch the back, bring the elbow and knee together. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, push it in. Inhale out. Exhale in. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Bring the hand down to the mat, the ball of the foot down to the mat for a calf stretch. Push your heel back. And then walk your hands one hand print forward, tuck your toes, lift the hips to down dog. We forgot to do our little stretch there first in the kneeling position. Back to table. Lengthen that left leg out and lift first as far as you can, then bend the knee and stack the hips while in table. Now bring that knee back down to the mat. Hands forward, tuck the toes, push to down dog, lift that left foot up, and then stack your hips, coming into that fire hydrant pose. Good hip openers to start. Bring that foot down, float back to your table, and take a couple breaths in cat-cow. Hands one print forward, tuck your toes, come to down dog, and take a few moments here, wagging your tail, floating your heels up or down, lengthening the back of the legs with a little pedaling of the feet, and letting the fingertips reach forward as the tailbone reaches up. On the inhale, looking between your thumbs, and on the exhale, hopping or stepping to the top of your mat. Inhale for a half lift. Feel the spine really lengthen right out the top of your head as your shoulder blades come down. Exhale, soften. Inhale, sweep your hands behind you, rising up, tall mountain, and release. Great job. Okay, we're up in a standing position. We'll take just a little balance here. So bring all your weight to your right leg and bring your left foot across so you're standing on the ball of the foot on the left foot. And see how you feel, if that's sturdy enough for you. If not, you can leave your feet uncrossed. Then we're going to do kind of a reverse rainbow. So inhale the arms up. Exhale right to the heart. Inhale, sweep them out, nice and big. Feel your shoulder blades coming together. Exhale, bring them down. Now, if you feel any imbalance, feel free to keep a focus point on one area so that you sturdy yourself up. One more big breath. Exhale to the home. Switch the feet. Got to do it on both sides. We love to stay even. Inhale and exhale. Feel that big, beautiful breath. Exhale. One more sweep up. And exhale. That breath is so invigorating. So come to one side of your mat or the other and then step out wide. So you've got a nice full straddle happening here. Let your heels be out a little bit more than your toes. Go ahead and squeeze your glutes a little bit, opening up the front of your hip flexors. You might even want to interlace the hands behind the sacrum. And just draw the shoulders back one at a time. Let the collarbones spread. Reach out into a star. Feel how your body is reaching in all 5 directions. Your crown up and your hands and feet reaching wide. Roll your thumbs back, squeeze the shoulder blades together, helping with all those posture muscles. Then turn to one edge of your mat and turn the toes to that edge. We're going to start with our Warrior Two posture. So come with that knee right over the ankle. Feel the feet press away from each other. The back foot is pretty much at 3 o'clock. find your warrior two here and take a couple breaths. As you lower your hips, try to make sure that the knee stays right over the ankle and not leaning in or out. Put the front palm up and take your reverse warrior. Draw that back kneecap right up so you keep a nice strong leg on the back, pushing the 2 feet apart, and breathe. Couple breaths here. Feel the engagement of the muscles around the low spine as you slowly tip over for our extended side angle. And normally we might put our elbow on the knee. This time I'd like you to just see if you can slide it down the inside of that leg and see what feels comfortable for you. Coming into extended side angle and breathing. Keep that knee over the ankle, the spine long. Draw that left hip back as you come into Trikonasana, triangle posture. The hand can be on the inside or the outside of the calf because now the knee is straight. Extended side angle, I like it on the inside. Really exhale that navel in and up. Feel the lightness of the top hand lift you up and float you through to your star again. Turn those toes to the long edge of the mat. Rotate the thumbs back a couple times. Bring your hands to your hips. Roll the shoulders. Notice the difference in your body. How does one arm versus the other arm feel? One leg versus the other. And then slowly find your way into your warrior two facing the other side of your mat. Our bodies are different on one side versus the other. So just noticing whatever might be a little different. Press the feet apart, knee over ankle. And breathing. Flip the front palm and reverse or peaceful warrior. Draw that back kneecap up. Couple breaths here. Feel the strength in the low spine as you tip it on over, coming to that extended side angle. Dropping that hand to the elbow, the elbow to the knee, or bringing that hand all the way down to the floor, whatever is working for you today. And breathing here. When you're ready, start to straighten that leg, drawing that right hip back, coming into Trikonasana. Feel the lightness of the upper arm lifting you up, returning you to your triangle. Thumbs rotate back a couple times. Bring your hands to your hips and step back together. Shake out anything that might need to have the muscles released a little bit. We build tension in the muscles throughout practice, and then we want to release. So we're going for very intense practice and very intense release. Okay, kind of like with our nervous system. We know we have both the sympathetic and the parasympathetic, and we want to bring balance by having both extremes. Okay, coming to the top of your mat. Coming into your mountain posture. We're going to begin with Sari Namaskara B, which is a Sun Salutation B series. So as you settle into your mountain posture, feel the weight in your heels. Lift and spread your toes. Feet are parallel with the long edge of the mat. Find the breath in the body. Find that ujjayi breath, narrowing the back of the throat. Slowing the exhale a bit. Inhale, let the arms come up. Take that right wrist into the left hand and gently sweep your body over in a side bend. Inhale, lift. Exhale, switch the grip, side bend. Inhale, lift. Exhale, side bend. Inhale up. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, lift, release the hands. Exhale, float the spine out. Swan dive down, forward fold. Inhale for a half lift. Feel the back flatten, shoulder blades slide down. Exhale, fold. Once more, a half lift. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold and step out for a plank. Taking your flow here, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale to cobra or up dog. And then we all meet together in downward facing dog. Let the feet and hands be in parallel tracks. We'll raise that left foot up. You might choose to bend and stack the hips. Exhale, bring that left foot forward between the hands. We're in a runner's lunge. 2 lanes of traffic. Let the hips lower a bit. Then bring the left hand to the inside of the left foot. And we're calling this gecko here. So just let the hips sink a little bit if that's comfortable for you. Draw the shoulder blades down a bit. The back kneecap up. Then drop the back heel so that the toes are coming out to the side and we're coming into 1 lane of traffic. The front heel intersects the back arch. Float it up to warrior 2. Bring the elbow down onto the knee, extended side angle. This time, bring your arm up over the ear. Sweep it back to warrior 2. And then all the way up to peaceful warrior. Couple breaths here. Bring that top hand behind you to interlace with the back hand and draw the hands down the sacrum, shoulder blades together, preparing for humble warrior. Keep that left kneecap over the ankle. With the exhale, fold to the inside of that thigh. Lift the hands a bit and let them come down to the mat. Walk your hands to the long edge of the mat as you turn the foot, and you're in a full straddle here. Bring your hands in front of you, press into the mat, let the tailbone reach back. Lift the tailbone. Let the head come into a bit of an inversion if that's comfortable for you, nodding your head yes and side to side. Lengthening the back of the thighs. Then bring your hands right underneath your gaze. Leave the right hand down. Keep your sacrum nice and flat as you draw the left hand up and come into a twist. 2 breaths here. As you bring that hand down, put the fist on the mat and draw your bow on the other side. 2 breaths here in this revolution. Try and revolve the thoracic spine. And release. Bringing both hands now on the mat, heel toe together to a 3/4 stride, okay? Toes out, heels in. Then push off your mat, coming into your goddess squat, elbows up at the level of the shoulders. Cactus arms, hips sinking just a bit. Breathing here. Let's add a little movement here. Keep pushing the heels apart. Inhale, reach the arms forward. Exhale, elbows in. Inhale, forward, cactus arms. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, reach. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, reach. Exhale, elbows in. Push through your heels and lift yourself up to a full star. And heel toe out to your straddle again. Remember, with the straddle, the heels are out just a little bit more than the toes, helping keep our knees safe. Press on the tops of the thighs. Lengthen your spine. Float yourself down to the mat. Let yourself come into a bit of an inversion here. And then bring your knees down to the mat. And bring the toes together so you're in a wide-kneed child's pose. And just let your hips sink onto your heels a bit. Walk your hands forward. Plant your hands just a little in front of your mat and come up into that wide-kneed position. Now your shoulders are over your wrists. Back is nice and flat. Let's lengthen that left leg out to the side. Keeping the hands right under the shoulders. Raise the right hand up and exhale, thread the needle, reaching that hand underneath the arm, and the ear and the side of the head may come to the mat or not. See what works for you. Exhale here. Inhale, bring that hand back up underneath the shoulder point. Take the left hand and place it on the sacrum and roll that shoulder back. Same side that the leg is extended, we're rolling the heart in that direction and the shoulder open. And then walk your hands towards the opposite side of the foot. Coming now into that knee down side plank position. Squeeze the glute on the right so you're lengthening up through that standing knee. Let that arm come up over the ear. And then sweep off that bottom hand, opening into a gate posture. Let that hand slide down that extended leg. A bit of a side bend here. All this stretching really feels good for our muscles and unwinds our tension. Windmill the hands back to the mat, and we're going to take our challenge side plank. So whatever side plank works for you. You may choose to do it on your knees or on your feet. Just pick one. You can have your feet spread out wide or stacked, and breathe for 5 breaths. Draw that navel in. Lift that upper hip up, up, up. 2 more breaths. 1 more. Very good. And bring that knee back down to the mat. Now as your knees are wide, tuck your toes so that you get a little bit of ability to come up onto your toes. So the knees are wide, your toes are tucked. Press on your hands and rock up into your squat. Bring your hands between the knees. Take a breath here. This might feel a little bit like a balance. Bring your hands down, push your hips up high, and walk your feet apart. Full straddle again. Lengthen out the back of the legs as you fold in that inversion. Then we'll walk our hands towards the back of the mat. We're going all over this mat tonight, aren't we? Step that right foot back to meet the left for a plank. Now at the back of your mat, we're going to flow. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale to cobra or up dog. And Exhale, down dog, facing the opposite side of your mat now. Inhale that right foot up. Exhale, bring it forward between the hands, starting in our runner's lunge. Let the hips sink a little. Draw that back kneecap up. Bring the hand to the inside of that foot. Gecko posture. Then drop the back foot. The heel comes down, the toes out to 9 o'clock. And sweep up for your warrior two. Make sure your feet feel comfortable in their alignment, that knee right over the ankle. Couple breaths here. Gently bring that elbow down onto the knee, extended side angle. So arm sweeps up and over. Breathing, drawing that navel up and in. Back kneecap keeps lifting up the leg. Sweep back to warrior two, 2 breaths. Rotate the front palm up. Exhale, peaceful warrior. Top hand reaches for the sky. Bottom hand reaches for the earth. Keep the low spine safe by pressing the feet apart and keep engaging the glutes. Top hand reaches back behind the sacrum, interlaces for our preparation for humble warrior. And then with control on the exhale, fold to the inside of that thigh. Release your hands to the mat and walk yourself to the long edge of the mat on this side. Your feet are in a full straddle, heels out further than the toes. Walk your hands through the legs, allowing a bit of an inversion here. Nodding the head yes. Bring the hands back underneath the gaze. Heel toe together to a 3/4 stride. Come on up into our goddess squat. Drop the hands to the bottom of the moon. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, big breaths here. Breathe as big as the moon. And exhale it down. Inhale it up. Exhale it down. Inhale it up. Exhale it down. Push into the heels and lift yourself out of your squat. Heel toe again out to a full straddle. Heels out a little further than the toes. Lengthen up the spine a bit and then slide your hands down the outside of the thighs as you push the tailbone back. Careful around the knees, a little micro bend in the knees is always good. When your hands get down onto your calves or ankles, bend your elbows and slowly draw your heart towards the earth, lengthening up the back of those hamstrings and doing all of our sitting that we do during the day. You might work one side and then the other. Little micro bend in the knee is always good. Keep it comfortable. And then release the neck. Both hands underneath the gaze. Walk your hands over to one leg or the other, bringing both hands there, one on the ankle, the other hand up on the hip, and draw your heart towards your knee. Revolved straddle fold twist. Couple breaths here. Walk your hands down to your foot, and then like a rainbow, walk your hands over to the other foot. Placing your one hand on the ankle, the other hand on the sacrum. Draw your heart towards your knee. Breathing. And bring your hands back to the center. And now our knees will come down, toes together, coming to that wide knee child's pose. Just float yourself out a little bit in that. Breathing as you exhale, letting go of tension. Walk your hands up underneath your gaze and kick that. For me, it's my right leg out towards the other side of our mat. So if you did one side, switch and do the other. And then bring your hands out in front of you, right in your, so you have a nice flat back with your hands underneath your shoulder points. And then the side of that is, the leg is extended. Take the opposite hand to lift it up. Exhale, thread the needle. Bringing the ear towards the mat. Cleansing breath here. And bring that hand back underneath your gaze. And bring the opposite hand, now the same side as the hip, up on top of the sacrum. And roll that shoulder open. Twisting now towards that leg. We want to have a very stable lumbar spine, but the thoracic spine we want to have a lot of rotation in. Bring the hands back underneath the gaze and walk your hands up to the top of that mat. So you're in a knee down side plank. Reach that right top arm up. Push off the bottom hand and come into your gate posture. Beautiful. Good stretch on that side body. Keep squeezing the glute on that side that's kneeling. And then as you bring that hand to the mat, choose your challenge side plank. What's going to work for you tonight? Find that posture. Push those hips up, 5 breaths. 3 more. 2. 1 more. And release. Bring the knees back down to the mat. Tuck your toes. This can be good for a little soul stretch as well as you sit up on your heels. And then just rock up into that squat for a minute, kind of a frog squat. And then push your hips up. Coming to that forward fold and then step the feet apart. Heel toe to a full straddle. And flatten out the back a little bit as you lengthen through the fingertips, reaching the tailbone behind you, and shimmy the ribs a little left and right, like a wide leg down dog. Gently walk both hands up to the top of your mat again. Step that front foot back to your plank. We'll take our final flow here for this practice, knees, chest, and chin, or chaturanga. Inhale to cobra or up dog. Then we all meet in down dog. Taking 3 to 5 breaths here. Glancing between your thumbs on an inhale and on an exhale. Hopping or stepping to the top of your mat. Inhale for a half lift, flatten the back, lengthen the neck. Exhale, soften. Soften the knees and the hips. Reach behind you and sweep up into your chair. Let your heels land, pushing away from each other. Breathing. Hands to the heart and splash it out. Release those legs. Yes. Okay. Very good. That was kind of a lengthy flow. Kind of walked our way all around the mat, didn't we? Exploring that Warrior Two footing and all the associated poses. All right, coming back into our mountain posture. Feel the weight in your heels and take a couple cycles of breath. Inhale, let your arms float up. Exhale, swan dive gently to the earth. Inhale for a half lift. Exhale, fold and step back for your plank. Holding plank with just a little softness in your elbows. You can rock back and forth, 5 breaths here. Keep the hips a little elevated. Push to downward facing dog. And remember, even though I suggest 5 breaths, do what's right for you. If you need to put your knees down or push to down dog, do what works for you. Inhale forward, float the right foot, 3 breaths. Push to 3-legged down dog. Lift that foot up. Floating back, 3-legged plank, and switch the footing. Other side up, 3 breaths. Push to 3-legged down dog. 3 breaths. Float it back down. Resume your full plank, 5 breaths. Bring the knees down. Untuck the toes and bring yourself all the way down to your mat. Fold your hands underneath the forehead. Bend the knees and gently windshield wiper the heels back and forth. Recovering the breath. Just letting the legs come to a bit of stillness. Cleansing breaths here. Bring your hands underneath your shoulder points. Zip the legs together. Inhale, roll the heart up for a cobra. Exhale, soften. Feel the back body working here. Inhale, roll it up and soften. Inhale, lift and soften. Twice more. Once more. Reach your hands out at 45 degrees. Press into the fingertips and lift the heart. Exhale, soften. Spider finger cobra. Press into the fingertips, lift the heart. Squeeze your glutes to keep the low back comfortable. Inhale, lift. And again. And once more. Hands underneath the shoulder points and walk your knees between your arms. We're going to come down to a seated posture. Let our feet out in front of us. And then in control, gently unroll the spine vertebrae by vertebrae down onto the mat. Draw your heels up behind your glutes. Plant the heels. Press the head into the mat and roll your shoulders under. Exhale the small of the back towards the mat. Inhale, breathe the belly. Exhale, push the small of the back down and squeeze the glutes as you lift up into your bridge. And draw the knees a little bit together and breathe, chin to the sky. After the third exhale, reach the tailbone towards the heels, and you can lift your heels if that helps. Then roll your thumbs underneath the sacrum. Excuse me, a little sneeze there, tickling my nose. And lift the feet up, first in tabletop. Then we're going to extend our feet out and do a horizontal scissor kick, passing one foot over the other and switching. And slowly, with the breath, lowering the legs. Keep the small of the back tight to the earth and breathe. Nice and slow. And then work it back up. One more breath. Draw the knees in, bring the heels back behind the glutes, release the thumbs. We'll take another bridge here. Let the heels land. Roll up into your bridge. Shoulder blades under a bit. Engage the pelvic floor, pubic bone to tailbone with the exhale. And releasing vertebrae by vertebrae, unwinding the spine. Roll your thumbs underneath that sacrum. We'll take those horizontal scissor kicks again. Float the shins in tabletop. Feel that small back pressing against the mat as you extend your feet out and begin those scissor kicks. Widen out, inhale, exhale, cross. Slowly moving. Breathing. You can do it. And working it back up. Two more. Bring the heels behind the glutes, preparing for our bridge. Roll your shoulders under a bit. And find your way into your bridge in your time. Breathing and engaging all those breathing muscles with the exhale. And then gently lifting the heels and drawing the tailbone towards the heels. Bring your knees into your hands and draw some circles on the back. And switch directions. You have performed your practice perfectly. Keep witnessing and welcoming your experience. Whatever is here, say yes. Hands come down to the shins, the knees come apart a bit, the elbows out wide, rock left and right. Let the feet come down to the mat, bridge up, but this time place a block You have a block, place it right underneath your sacrum. Let the sacrum land there and then bring your heels in and float them to the sky. Viparita Karani. Point and flex the toes if you like, circles with the ankles. Let the heels drift apart. Take your time exploring this restorative posture. Breathing and letting go. Let the breath be full, the exhales long. With the next exhale, let the heels come back together. And the next exhale brings the knees to the chest. Let the right heel go long as you walk your hands up the back of that left leg, engaging in a bit of a hamstring stretch here as you draw that knee towards you. And then gently switching, bring that other leg in and take the hamstring stretch on that as the opposing leg down lengthens out. Breathing, never forgetting those deep breaths are so important in yoga. And then both knees come in as the heels come behind the block. Let the soles of the feet come together and the knees fall apart a bit. Just rock left and right as you widen out and bring your arms into cactus in a floating goddess. Big breath in. Allow stillness to kind of encapsulate you. And just breathing. Feel your body growing heavy. And draw your knees back together, a little weight in the soles of the feet as you bridge up. Take the block out from underneath you. And begin to prepare yourself for our final resting posture, Shavasana. Feel free to take an additional posture if there's something calling your name. Otherwise, begin to widen your arms and legs a little away from the center of your body. Find the breath with your attention and rest your attention here, feeling the breath in the body. As you scan the body, can you let go just a bit more? Allow gravity to take and hold your body to the earth. Softening the shoulders, through the arms, all the way down to the fingertips. Letting the head be heavy, and the face soft, the eyes soft, the tongue thick. The breath passing like waves in the ocean, ebbing and flowing with the body. Surrendering the body to the earth, heavy, soft, and warm. Nothing to do but witness. Witness and welcome this moment of your life. Welcome, saying yes to this. Just noticing where your attention is. If you're enjoying stillness, feel free to stay in stillness. And the option is to deepen your breath a bit. Expand your awareness again to your whole body and the space around you. Noticing your body breathing right here. Beginning to find a little movement, fingers and toes, wrists or ankles. When you're ready, lengthen out in a stretch or draw your knees in towards your chest and comfort the low back a bit. Rolling over to one side or the other and bringing yourself to a seated posture in your time. As we close our practice time together. If you've joined me in a seated posture now, bring your hands to the heart center. Witnessing and welcoming your life just as it is. When we notice what we have and pour ourselves into it, it is enough. May you have a blessed and peaceful week. Om Shanti. Namaste. Thank you so much for your practice, and I hope you have a beautiful evening.